Boom! What's going on, guys? My name's Zach. Welcome back to this episode of Zach Fits. Today we're going to be doing the long overdue Proteus fit. It is awesome. I've been having so much fun with it. It's expensive, it's shiny, it's not for new bros. So let's get started. So there it is, guys. This is the Shield Proteus which I've been using and I feel most comfortable with. I've had this fit many different ways, but this is the one which appeals to me the most. So I've went with high mobility, micro warp drive, large shield booster for the tank. So we've got tons and tons of tank. Doesn't matter what you're facing, it'll tank anything. And we've got railguns on there, obviously for applied DPS over the range, because blasters don't really cut it for level 4 missions, even though that DPS is ridiculous, like something 1500 or something where I got it up to with 6 guns. But this is a 5 gun setup, again based on cap, tank and mobility. So we'll just go over the fit right now, and hopefully you'll be able to get a grip on why I chose some certain subsystems over others, and hopefully I'll keep the trolls appeased. So we'll start with the rigs. I've got 2 medium cap control circuit 2s, that's a given obviously for the cap. The core defense safeguard does actually do more than another control circuit because it reduces the overall need of the GIST-X type, even though the GIST-X is probably the lowest consuming large shield booster you can get. It does reduce that down to about, I think it was 78, so I think the standard's 90 on it, so that's when per cycle, especially when you're running it all the time, that does count, so that's the reason for that. And subsystems, we've got a CPU efficiency gate that gives 5% per level to CPU. You need that because you've obviously got large shield booster, MWD and rails on, so it is pretty tight. And I've got CA1 and 2s in, but I'll go over the implants in a bit, so that is pretty tight. Nanobot injector doesn't really do anything for the ship bonus wise, but it does give 2 extra low slots. Cap regen matrix, obviously emphasis on cap, always PvE ship. I mean, you don't have to be cap stable. Like I say, guys, there's tons of ways to fit this ship, and I'm sure if you don't want to be cap stable and have a little bit more DPS with the 6 guns, that's absolutely fine. Hybrid propulsion armature, I chose this one just because you get the damage and range bonus, but you also get a 75 M3 drone bay. And just to keep in with the shiny fit, I've put some augmented hammerheads in there, and we've got some hobgobs, and just in case stupid things like spider drones sort of get a tight orbit on you when you webbed or scrammed or whatever, and the rails just won't hit, even with that big tracking bonus they get. And the other one you can use gives you an actual tracking bonus as well, and I think it is this one. That's the one. So the Sonic encoding platform gives you that 7.5% bonus to medium hybrid turret tracking per level, as well as the 2 bonuses that this propulsion armature gives you. So you can either give up tracking and have drones, or have more tracking. It's entirely up to you. Personally, if you were doing this with fleet members and stuff, I would use the encoding platform, because you'll be hitting things a lot easier rather than having the drones flying around applying DPS all over the place. And another one which I was in 2 minds of. So the gravitational capacitor here, this gives 1 extra mid slot rather than the one I was going to use, which was the localized injectors. Now this one's actually better for the ship because it gives a 15% reduction in afterburner and micro warp drive capacitor consumption per level, and that's a big amount on a micro warp drive, 15%, and it does make the cap go ridiculous amounts. I mean, I think it goes for nearly 5 minutes with the micro warp drive running, as well as the shield booster and the 2 res mods with that on. But I didn't really want to give up the amp, because that's what I would have taken off if I used the other one. So rather than having the extra low, I went with the extra mid. I think that makes a little bit more sense to me. And carrying on with the low slots, we've got all shiny in the bottom. We've got 4 Fed Navy mag stabs and 4 Republic Fleet Tracking enhancers. Now usually I wouldn't fit shiny Trident Enhancers, it was just because the whole ship's pretty shiny, that's why. I don't think they're worth the money at all. T2's absolutely fine in most cases. And another thing for mag stabs, you only get around 46% bonus to the DPS, so 46 DPS for like 80, 90 mil or however much these cost. You can, if you're short on cash, obviously only put 3, but if you want the max possible DPS out of this particular fit, then you're going to want 4 on. And like I say, I'm fully aware of the nerf you get having 4 like stacking mods on there, but I think it's worth in this case to have it, because all you would put is another Trident Enhancer or a damage control, which you really don't need because you've got them drones obviously for the little things. And in the mids we've got a shield boost amp tech 2. I'm a scrub, I should have put a shiny one on, but it does. And with that it gives 400 HP per 3.2 seconds with the Gist X large booster. And I went for the Gist X type because it gives that less cap activation amount per level, per cycle, sorry, so that helps the cap all the way through the mission. Invul Field 2, and then we've got a Pimp Invul Field 2, and I was thinking about getting 2 of these, but I thought, well, I'll just get some Pith C types. They're pretty cheap for the EM, the explosive and kinetic, and what I sometimes do, if not really the kinetic and explosive, but if I'm going against lasers, I'll just take that T2 off and put the EM in there. Even a Tech 2 on would do, and that pushes the res up to around 70%, 77% or something with the EM on. So with just the 2 invuls on, guys, we get 57, 83, 94 and 79 across the board, which is fine. Even the lasers, I think that's pretty good. That rep's like just totally massive. And as long as you're not running your Might Warp Drive when you get like a full spawn, there's no issues whatsoever. And even running it's not bad either. I mean, I've sat still in like balls deep missions with this and just tank things forever, so it's tank isn't an issue. And like I say, there is other fits where you can get a 3 slot, 6 gun and 7 lows, and that does like ridiculous amounts of DPS and stuff, but you lose a lot of tank. And again, I wanted this fit to be comfortable for me to take on any mission solo or with a fleet, so that's some of the options there. Might Warp Drive, went with a C-type 10mm, and that gives a nerf of only 8%, I believe. Yeah, so it's only a capacity bonus of -8%, which isn't a lot, which is a lot better than the 17% or 19% of the T2. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, why have Might Warp Drive with rails? But personal preference, afterburner's absolutely fine, and then your cap is just ridiculous. You could probably swap that out for the power core, whichever one, to get the extra gun and stuff, but blah de blah de blah. And also with the guns, instead of T2, I actually went with Shadow Serpentis 250 mils. Now these do just a tiny little bit of extra DPS, but again I wanted to squeeze as much as I could out with a 5 gun setup, because obviously it lacks a little bit only having 5. And again, not worth the money, but I just decided, fuck it, I'll throw them on. I mean, the tracking speed, the optimal range and everything's exactly the same as the T2, apart from that tiny little bit extra damage bonus. And we do use Caldari Navy Antimatter for the ranges and stuff, so we'll get, let's have a look, 21 kilometers optimal, 53, but you can still hit frigs for one shot at like 65 kilometers and stuff when I've been testing this around. So overall, it's a pretty good fit, in my opinion anyway. I'm sure the trolls will be on the case in the comments section, just like they were for the rest of them. But for implants, we've got CA1, CA2s, obviously give you +3 to your stats and also give increased cap recharge and stuff, so they're pretty good. CA1 2s, in my opinion, are the best implants in the game. They're pretty cheapish, I think it's 100 mil now for the set. They're a little bit more expensive than they used to be, but I think they're worth for any ship. And we've got neural boost in there, +5, that's just because I'm mapped for that shit. Capacitor systems, operation 5, this is given more recharge time bonus, 5%. And we've got a control bursts, which gives 5% reduction in all turret capacitor needs, so you can again see so much cap stuff going on to this ship. It's pretty good. The last, like, it's stable at 40%, I believe, with the Mighty Warp Drive off. And in the last two, we've got medium hybrid turret and surgical strike, 5%. So we'll get 5% bonus to hybrid turret damage and 5% bonus to all turret damages, and this last one does make a lot of difference, especially to the battleships and stuff, and it's a really good one having, because it affects all turrets obviously. So That's why I went with them guys. So again, you could put a crystal set in here if you wanted to sacrifice some cap. I mean, that would be totally worth it. You could get the full set in there and the Omega, and you could just be repping ridiculous amounts with that. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but this is the way I found more comfortable. So that's pretty much it guys. What you can do is obviously if you want a high tracking setup like this, you just use tracking computers in the armor fit, but there's not really much difference between 3 tracking computers versus 2 tracking enhancers. Obviously you get that flexibility with the tracking computers to change around scripts and stuff, but there isn't really much in it. I think there was only like 7 kilometers difference in the fall off between 3 tracking computers, and that's a lot for a ship this size. Versus the 2 tracking enhancers, so I think it's very similar par, but obviously one's shield fit, one's armor fit. But I hope you enjoyed it guys. Leave some comments. I look forward to reading all the trollish ones and getting back to you in a trollish manner. And if you want the fits, check the description. I'll try and remember to link them as a picture or something, or just give us a mail in game, just zaqq in game, or start a convo anytime. I'll link you the fits, give us a mail, whatever. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Zaqq Fits.
The beat keeps drumming on and on. A billion charges won. Tomorrow's just begun. The beat keeps drumming on and on. To think we almost lost our faith in love, but you just can't hide the sun. But you just can't hide the sun. At least we can say we were there when it happened. At least we can say we were there when it happened. At least we can say we were there when it happened. At least we can say we were there when it happened. At least we can say we were there when it happened. At least we can say we were there when it happened. At least we can say we were there when it happened. At least we can say we were there when it happened. Tomorrow's just
da da dee, dow, dow, dow.